Hey, this is Boz. Welcome back to Boz Cigar Review. Gonna have a good time today. Gonna talk a lot about a couple of different things. It won't go on forever. Got some exciting news, super cool news regarding Drew Estates and Cigar Cave in Medford. They got some good stuff coming up. It's gonna be great, and I'm pretty happy because I picked something up today regarding Cigar Cave and a function they're going to be having, which kind of brings in two of my favorite things, which is amazing cigars. Put that down. And something I'm going to try new today. I talked to Bullet Bourbon the other day on the phone. They said, hey, give our Bullet 95 Rye a try. Again, the normal bourbon is kind of a corn mash. The rye is made out of rye, got it out of the wheat family. It looks great. I'm sure it's going to taste great. I just opened it up. I haven't even opened it. Just took the plastic off. So I want everybody to see me open it. I don't know why. It's just a thing. And it hasn't been tampered with. Got my grandma of my grandma. My wife inherited 5 grandkids. My grandkids, but now she's married to me. So she's not a grandma. She's a glamma. This is Gigi, my grandmother. That's her glass. It's my glass now. So I'm going to have that with my Bullet Rye. Take a look at that. Super cool, huh? Again, please drink responsibly. I don't drink a bunch of this and go driving around like that. No, don't do that. You're going to hurt yourself or somebody, and then you got to live with it, and man, that would suck for everybody involved. So don't do it. Put that down. And start it off with a toast to Gigi. That's got kind of a kick to the finish. Smooth. You know, their other stuff, just the Kentucky bourbon, it's smooth. It's kind of sweet all the way down. This is kind of got a little bit of a tang on the tongue in the front. The finish is almost kind of peppery. This is going to be really good with the cigar that I picked today. I picked the Undercrown, and there's the Undercrown, and it's the Liga Privada L40. Look at that. It's just signed right there. Liga Privada L40. And the Undercrown. It's I had to write this down because I'm not used to actually having to see a cigar this small. It's a 7x40 band size. And looking at it, this is kind of this was made, the workers came kind of like the working man cigar I was talking about. They said, hey, we're going to make a cigar for our own personal use. Drew Estates and Undercrown. Sorry about that. Like I said, I don't edit these. My phone started to beep, and it was a good friend of mine, old cowboy. He's a cowboy. He was a bull rider, one of the top 10 in the world. In fact, I'm going to tell you a story about him today. Anyway, back to the Undercrown with a Drew Estate, the L40. It was rated in one of the top cigars in the world. And I can see why, because they kind of made this for themselves. The rollers, they come off with very few. There's only a handful of tobaccos that they use for this. Only a handful of rollers, and they only make so many days. Very limited, and only to their top merchants, which in this case would be Cigar Cave. Talk to Jesse and Matt, and you'll be hooked up with them. And some exciting news about them too here in a minute. But so it's a limited production. The price point's a little higher, but don't be scared off by it. You know, go out, save up a few bucks. It's probably around the $12 to $16 range, depending on where you go. But so far, it's really nice. It's kind of a tight wrap. it's got a little bit of a sweet tang to it. The tobacco scent, kind of a sweet notes to it. It's really kind of cool. I'm gonna try this out. It's, as you can see, it's almost it's got some veins on it. They're not pronounced, but they're a little more noticeable than some cigars. It's the dark wrapper, the Connecticut broadleaf, but dark. And it's really cool to look at. I like it. But man, you know, the wrapping on it is super tight. Put it up where you can see it. And it's just a really nicely done cigar. And I can see why it was rated as one of the top in the world. Comes off very cleanly, very nice. I'm going to do the cold draw. Again, I kind of suck it into my lungs. Got just a hint, of sweetness on the tobacco. It's just barely there. It's not like the acids that I reviewed. It's just kind of once, you know, it makes you want a little bit more. I'm trying to keep tasting it, but kind of got a creamy, just a kind of a creamy taste to it. My bulldog is, you know, I told you about that little hole in the fence. My bulldog's over there looking at that little hole in the fence. Just going to tar it up. Let's get this toasted. Some nice smoke to it. Light her up. That's smooth. Got that earthy taste, you know, like I was telling you about the dirt. It's got that earthy taste. There's kind of a hint of coffee, not as pronounced as some of the other cigars. We'll see how it gets into the first third and beyond. See how those flavors kind of unite and the complexities of it kind of come up. That's my big word of the day, complexity. And don't ask me to spell it. And we'll see how it goes in the second third. And again, I'm going to polish this sucker off as I do almost all of them to about 1.5 inches. Boy, the ash on that. Take a look at that. Look how white that is. You know, the Pappy Van Winkle had a really white ash. This sucker is white. It is like paper white. That, I would say, is the closest to my hair of any cigar I've had. And that has got to be a good thing. When it matches the boss's hair, it's a great cigar. So here's the horse. Pretty good. Got some pepper I can feel back in there. Kind of let it roll around a little bit. On the retrohale, got some pepper, but it's excellent. This has got, I don't know, it fades really quickly, actually. That pepper. And it's kind of hard to explain. You know, you get the flavors in your mouth, it rolls around, and you get the retrohale, you get the flavors, and then bang, they're gone that quick. It's not lingering in my throat or in my olfactories. It's not lingering in there. It's just kind of gone. It's like, wow, you gotta take another puff on this. The draw on it's very smooth. I'm gonna enjoy this and have more of my Bullet. Got to do this because I love it. The Bullet 95 rye. Always drink responsibly. I'm gonna enjoy it. Got some rail-tailed hawks kind of flying around here, and they're they're looking at something. As long as it's not me. I am alive. Leave me alone. You never know. All right, I'm going to pause this. I'll be back and catch up. This is Boz. I'm back with Boz Cigar Reviews. Mama's home. The dogs are going crazy, driving my dad nuts. They get the barking the poodles. Yeah, I got poodles too. They're teacup poodles. They're super cool. Got a black one and a white one. They were a pair, and they're actually pretty cool. They don't shed. The bulldog and the German shepherd shed like crazy. So the poodles are pretty cool. I'm into this first third. I want to say this is unlike any cigar I have smoked. It's probably why it's rated one of the top in the world. It just, sometimes you smoke a cigar and you can taste that, for, I don't know, a couple hours later in your mouth. You just kind of get that taste. It's not bad. It's just that you smoked a cigar. And if you get smooched on by your girl, your wife, or whoever you get smooched on by, they can go, oh man, it sounds like a cigar. That's my voice of my wife in my head. It's okay. She knows I do it. This doesn't have that. It goes, it rolls, it retrohales, it kind of sits there, and then poof, it's gone. Actually, it's more like bam, it's gone. Then you take another draw. Oh, this is excellent. I'm picking up more on that last draw. It's heating up. More of a leathery kind of a note to it. It's really good. Really good. I'm going to tell you why this is really good. Like I said, they kind of made it for themselves, for their own humidors or private collection to smoke. They went through a couple different types were made of this. They used a whole bunch of different blends and different tobaccos. They went all out until they found the one that they all said, wow, that's the one. That's the one we want in our personal collection. That's the one we want in our personal humidors. And they only make a handful of these at a shot. So if you get a chance, pick it up. It's the Liga Privada 7x40, and like I said, it was a private blend. It's just a super cool, It's going to be in my top 5, along with my other the top 8. It's going to be in my top 5. Oh, she's home. There goes the ash. Didn't go on. I didn't get to rub it in. Damn it! I wanted to kind of rub it in so I could wear it. And she's sitting next to me. I get. Oh. So, you like that?
Give me another one. I gotta taste it.
This is one of the top cigars in the world. Private blends.
Taste pepper.
Yep, got some pepper to it. But it doesn't linger, and it doesn't make me smell bad. That's a good thing. That's a plus. That's 2 crooked thumbs up, baby. 2 crooked thumbs up. I just, I say I'm going to buy cigars, and I do. I was just down at Cigar Cave today talking to Matt and Jesse, and they said you're going to really like this. It's just kind of, we don't get it in that often, and it usually sells out, and I can see why. This sucker's good. It's my top 5 of 15, but it's actually probably in the top 2 or 3, to be totally honest with you. Bottom line honest, it's going to be in the top 2 or 3 because it's not sitting. It's a little more pepper now, but it goes great. I'll tell you. Sometimes cigars, they go good with scotch, whiskey, soda, whatever you're drinking, juice. This one, because it's not sweet, doesn't have any really sweet taste. It's got a little bit of a chocolate taste, but it goes really good with the rye. Really good. Towards the end, I'll probably dip this. To be bottom line honest with you, I'll probably dip it, and we'll go from there. It'll probably be a unique, super unique flavor. We're going to talk about, I had a friend of mine over yesterday. His name is Jeff, Cowboy. He's known as Cowboy or Fluff. It's a long story. But he is a man's man. He was in the top 10 bull riders in the world for a long time. The guy is more beat up and cut up and stitched up and stomped on than about anybody I know. He was over yesterday. He says, "What you got going, pard?" I mean, I tell you, he's got, sometimes hard to understand him. But he's always smoking these little cigarillo type things. And I had some little, the same type of thing. I was just trying out to see if I liked him. And he took up and he had that face. It just got all kind of scrunched up, and it was just an off-brand that I buy to try. Sometimes I go like the few dollar cigars, and he just didn't like it. I thought it was great. My wife liked it too. But his face got all scrunched up. It's like that, and he's looking for something to drink. I said, "Man, I thought bronc riders I thought bull riders were tough." And that, don't tell them, somebody that's been riding bulls for forever, like 4 decades, and had his arm ripped off, literally had to sew it back together. There's only a couple of things holding it back on. He's been broke up, busted up. Don't ever tell them that you thought bull riders were tough, because I'm going to tell you, if he wasn't so busted up and stitched up, bones and screws and brackets and all kinds of hardware holding him together, this is what he would have done to me. Like that bull riding where they get on there, or they rope the bull and they flip him upside down and they wrap him. That's what he would have done to me. This would have been me. All wrapped up in about 5 seconds, begging him to untie me, because I got the look. I say, "Hey man, sorry, cowboy. I know you're tough. I know you just had that funny looking face." And then he had a puff of his little cigar, and we were all good. We started laughing again. Cool guy. I'm gonna have him on here. But he kind of let some words fly. Says, "Man, we're gonna have to have a talk before I put you on here, because you kind of let these words fly that I can't use." But he is super bottom line. He's involved with the kids' rodeos and stuff like that. He's huge on teaching kids and not losing this part of Americana. Bull riding and bronc busting and stuff like that. He is so into it. He's a great teacher. He's a great friend. I love the guy to death. I'm going to have him on here. He's got his cowboy hat and his big championship belt buckles and his cowboy boots. And he may not say too much, because he can't say a lot without saying a lot of other things. Extremely bottom line, but it just kind of rolls off his tongue. So I'm going to get him on here. So back to the Liga Privada L40 from Undercrown. I can't say enough about it. It's just, like my wife said, got a little pepper, and it tastes great. It's got more of a leathery taste now. And the Rich Rohale is totally different than any cigar that I have had. And most cigars are different in some aspect, but this sucker is really different. It's really hard to explain. I'm being honest with you. It's got almost a, like, I like oranges, and I kind of peeled an orange last night. And I peel it, and you get that, if you squeeze an orange peel, it kind of shoots little parts out. Actually, you just put a lighter to it and squeeze it, and it poof, flames up. Don't do that near your hair. And it's, if you smell that, it's kind of got a hard nose to it on an orange peel. This kind of has a little bit of that. It just reminds me of that. It's not citrusy by any means, but it has that sweet bite to it. but it's not sweet because the orange peels are kind of bitter. And this isn't bitter, I'm not saying that, but it just reminds me of that. It's burning long. I'm into this for about 25 minutes. This is going to be a good 45 minute to an hour cigar, which for being, you know, the size 40 is pretty impressive. It really is. The ash was probably 2 inches long before it fell off. Hoping I could wear this one and rub her all in. This, you know, if I filled a room up full of this smoke and rolled around in it, you probably wouldn't really smell it because it doesn't have that typical cigar smell. Cigar smell. And but it just is so different. I haven't had a cigar like this. Don't let the price point worry you. You know, we all go out, we try these super high dollar cigars. Some of them are good, some of them are, it depends on, you know, whatever people like. But please go try this one. The L40. There's the Undercrown on there. Undercrown is one of my top cigars. I really like them. And along with Drew Estate. Oh, which reminds me. Let me show you something. I'm pretty excited about this. This is my receipt from today. Let me see if you can see this. This says Schoolhouse Scotch Pairing. Bought me some tickets, baby. Matt hooked me up, got some tickets. They're going to have a Scotch pairing, cigar smoking at the place in Jacksonville, Oregon. It's called the Schoolhouse. The best German food. My God. I'm German, English, a couple other things mixed in there, I'm sure. But I like German food. And their stuff is fantastic. Please go check them out. I don't ask these people. I don't say I'm going to mention you, you know, give me something. If I go over there and eat their food, I pay for it because they earned for me to go in there because their food's so good. And I earned to pay for it because I earned it and the food's so good. So please go check them out. There's going to have, in fact, go to Cigar Cave in Medford or Grants Pass and get some tickets. You know, it's all inclusive. You know, you get your Scotch pairings, you get your all you can eat, they're going to have cigar tasting in there. Please go check it out, man. I'd love to see you. You know, I'm thinking about doing maybe a little event there. Not sure yet. We're going to have a blast. You know, might run around and be all happy and just have a good time. So please go in there, get your tickets before they're sold out. I think they're going to sell out quick. And they're in Grants Pass, I think it's on 7th, and in Medford on Biddle. This is a very limited production, and it's because they take extreme care, not just in the manufacturing of it or the rolling of it. They're hand rolled, of course, but they only take very few blends of tobacco from very few, like less than a handful of the farmers over there. So that's why this sucker is amazing. Wow. I'll be back in a minute. I'm going to kick back here and grab my rye. I'm going to sit back in my char. Got my bulldog here. And I'm going to just relax for a few minutes and just enjoy the hell out of this sucker. Be back in a minute. This is Boz. I'm back with Boz Cigar Reviews. I'm into the second, third. Drinking my Bullet 95 rye, which is a great pairing with this. I am really, really impressed. Once I get down probably a little bit further and after this over, I'm going to dip it in there, let it soak for about 30 seconds. This is something I like to do. The ash is hanging on there. I'm going to hopefully hold it here so it gets on me so I can rub it in. As the cigar heats up, the flavor is definitely changing. Not that it's a pronounced change, but it's warming up. It's pretty warm up to about here. You know, you could feel the warmth, and the tobacco is finally really heating up because it's a 7-inch. And I'm getting more of the pepper, kind of stick to the roof of your mouth kind of a thing. It's finally getting to that point where you can still taste it, which is perfectly great. Not overpowering at all. It's very pleasant. You know, one of the reasons, and I forgot to mention this, and I'm so sorry. to Undercrown. The reason, a lot of reasons why this is so good, but the work and the detail and the aging that they put into this, it's these wrappers are aged for, and they're actually hand fermented for about a year and a half, 18 plus months. They ferment these things and they age them, and then they put it together. They wrap them, very limited production, and then they let them age for another year. Imagine that. That's incredible. That shows a commitment to the consumer. They want to put out the best product they can for us, for you guys and myself, which says a lot about the company. So thank you so much for doing it. More than 18 months just to ferment these things and age them the way that they do, which is incredible. And then a year sitting there aging and getting better and better and better before they even go out to the stores. So that says a lot. The leather aspect to me, again, is picking up. The ashes hanging in there is a beautiful cigar. It's not coming apart, which very rarely do I have a cigar come apart. But even if it does, on the other ones I had, it came apart a little bit, just smoke it. You don't go, oh my God, it's got, just smoke the damn thing. Don't worry about it. There's enough life to worry about. And I'm going to get into a story about that, because I kind of have the part of the show where little life lessons. And this is one that's extremely close to me. You all know my dad lives in East 81, and we had a little talk today. As we talk about stuff every day. There we go. All right, it's on my lap. Rub it in. Get rid. It's just wear it. Come on, wear it. So wear it. Like I said, as the tobacco's heated up, it's got the tobacco taste is stronger, not overpowering. It's not strong. It's like, oh my God, it's just strong, because, like I said, the first third, it was like it wasn't even there. You kind of go, oh, this is there, and then it's gone. I would take some of my bullet rye, and it kind of sits on the back of your tongue and in your throat, and it gets that kind of a peppery feel like rye does. And this was a great combination for that. So go out and check the Bullet 95 rye. It's a fantastic product, along with your L40 and a lot of the cigars. Give it a try. You imagine being so conscientious about what you do for the public that you put that much time into stuff to put out a product like this, and that's why it's one of the best in the world. Get my little wisdom of the day. My son got married. He was young, 18, 19. Can't do the math right now. His birthday's coming up. In a couple of months, he's going to be 38. My God, I feel so old. When he got married, I said, his name's Jeff. I said, man, Jeff, I'd like to talk to you. We sat in his car and I talked. I cried like a baby. I know. The tears were streaming down. He says, Dad, what's wrong? I said, my time's up. My time's up. I can't do any more as a father at this point. My time is up. He's getting married. He's got his own life. He's going into the Coast Guard. He's been in 18 years. Extremely proud of him. Thank you for your service. And he says, why are you so upset? I said, well, I was strict. I was a strict dad. I wasn't brutal. I didn't beat them or anything like that, my kids. But I was strict. I wanted to impart upon them a good work ethic and morals and right and wrong. But I was strict, I said, all those times I would raise my voice, or, I'd do things that I kind of regret. Every parent in life has a point where they go, oh, I maybe should have done that a little bit different. I shouldn't have done it. I mean, you know what? This is, even at that young age, how together he was. And he still is, because he's got 3 boys now and a beautiful wife. He says, Dad, look at all the good things that you did. We did this, and he rattled off all of this stuff. You took us there. We traveled the United States. We went to Hawaii. We took a military flight there when I was active duty. I'm retired military. We went there. You know, I had a friend of mine that I was stationed with. His family actually owned a cruise line. That never happens. And we went on a couple of cruises. He said, the point was, he said, look at all the good stuff. Dad, don't worry about that. I'm okay. Look at all the good stuff you did. So today, you know, my dad, you know, he was pretty depressed, and you know, he's just kind of, you know, sitting there, and I see he's got his glasses off, he's wiping some tears away. I said, oh my God, Dad, what's wrong? What's wrong? It's a little bit hard for me. He says, I'm sorry. I said, what are you sorry for? That, you know, maybe you knocked something over or whatever. He says, I'm sorry I was so tough on you. And he's crying. I said, Dad, it's okay. He says, no, I was tough. And he was. He was tough. He was a hard, tough man, because that's how he was raised. You know, on the farm, with some physical limitations he had that were serious. He had to work his butt off, always worked his butt off. My mom and he always worked hard, a couple of jobs apiece. So I was too tough. So I did a lot of things that happened to me as a kid that I shouldn't have done to you. And I told him a story about my son. So don't think about that, because I'm tough. I'm a tough SOB. I've made it in life. Everything I have, I've paid for. He says, you know, yeah, you have done well. I said, yeah, of course I have. I followed in your footsteps. You know, uh, was I that way with my kids like he was? No, but I was strict. I was stern, and I've got a son and daughter that I love more than anything, and 5 beautiful grandkids that they've supplied, and I appreciate what he did, and so I told him, Dad, it's okay, and I rattled off all the good things that he'd done, and he just smiled. He smiled. He goes, I guess so. I didn't screw up. No, Dad, you didn't screw up. So think about all the good things that your parents have done, or somebody that helped raise you, grandparents, aunt, uncle, whoever raised you. It's a hard job. It's hard raising kids. They don't come with a book, you know, like getting your driver's license. You go, okay, got to know this. Kids, they don't have that book. Any books that are on child rearing is written by somebody, and that's their idea. It's not like it's that person's observation. So think of the good things that happen in life, and don't dwell on the bad. Deal with it. Deal with it. Don't dwell on it. I told him I was fine with it. He just kept apologizing. I said, you know, it's okay. It's okay. Are you sure? I said, it's fine. Because look at me now. I've got a good life. So he smiled. You know, the tears were still welling up. He smiled. He says, maybe I didn't screw up as bad as I thought. Nope, you didn't. Count your blessings. Count them, please. You'll find that you cannot count that high. And if you think you got more down than up, talk to the guy in the mirror. Talk to the guy in the mirror. Straighten it out with him. Do it. So I'm going to continue with my Bullet 95 rye, which is a fantastic pairing. Again, get your tickets. Go to Cigar Cave, Medford and Grants Pass. Get your tickets for the event at the schoolhouse. Fantastic food, all you can eat, great cigars, great company. I want to thank Ben and Jake, who I met at Cigar Cave in Medford today. Super cool guys. They will hook you up just like Jesse and Matt. They're extremely knowledgeable. Just tell them what you want. So it was really good meeting you, Ben and Jake, today. I really enjoyed it. Sat down there and we shot the poop for a while and talked all kinds of neat stuff. So for today, grab a great cigar wherever you go. I suggest Cigar Cave, and grab something really good to drink. Have a great time, because as always, we've earned it. Thank you. Until next review, go pick up a Liga Privada L40. This sucker is damn good, and I'm really liking it. So thank you, Undercrown, for putting out such a fantastic cigar, and all the workers that do it, because it was made for them, and we get the benefit of it. So until next time, be good and be happy.